Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you all are fine at your place. Class 8 now we will start chapter 3rd of history, life in the rural areas. Rural means farming and agricultural areas, or we can say villages. First I want to discuss the introduction part of the chapter. When the Britishers came to India, that time villages were very self-sufficient units. Whatever the things people needed, they grew in the villages itself. The farmer owned the land, he cultivated it, and he could not be evicted from his land. Only he had to pay very small amount of his produce to the king. And when there were natural calamities like floods and droughts, king reduced the land revenue or sometime he was not taking revenue from the farmers. But when the Britishers came to India, they changed the situation completely. Now the revenue was collected by the agents of the company and the revenue was also fixed and farmer had to pay it in the form of cash and there were no concession were given to the farmers at the time of natural calamities. So we can say that the arrival of the Britishers changed the life in the villages. Changed the life in the villages. So first we will read about colonial agrarian policies. Agrarian means agricultural. In the last chapter you read about the Battle of Buxar. This war was very important for the British East India Company, as this war has given the right to the company to collect the revenue of Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. And company also needed more money to purchase goods in India and export them, to run the administration, to maintain the army, and to fund the numerous wars that they fought both in India and abroad. Their only aim was to make as much money as possible. And that time land revenue was the main source of income, so its timely collection was very important for the company. When the Warren Hastings was the Governor General, the company gave the right to collect revenue from an area to the highest bidder. What the meaning of the bidder is? Buy the person who buy an asset from a seller at a specific price. But this system failed. Why this system failed? Because as bids were made for an amount much more than what the land could actually produce. So company never got the full amount. So to smoothen the revenue collection, company brought about some changes. They introduced three revenue collection system. They introduced three revenue collection system. The first one is permanent settlement, which was introduced in 1793. Under this permanent settlement, company fixed the land revenue Bengal Bihar and this scheme was introduced in 1793 by Lord Cornwallis and came to be known as permanent settlement. The revenue to be collected from an area was fixed permanently and the local zamindar was asked to collect revenue from the peasants. Every year, local zamindar had to pay the fixed amount by a certain date. If he was able to collect more revenue from the land, he would keep the surplus amount. But if he could not pay the fixed revenue to the company, he would lose his zamindari rights. The land then would be given to another zamindar. Under this permanent settlement, the peasants suffered terribly. They had to pay a very high revenue and could be evicted if they failed to give the high revenue to the company. The zamindar were not interested to invest money to improve the productivity of land. So while production declined, the revenue demand of the zamindar went up. To pay the revenue, the peasant was often forced to borrow money from the moneylender. And once in debt, the peasant found it difficult to get out from that debt. So, next we will read about Mahalwadi system. The Mahalwadi system was introduced in present day of western Uttar Pradesh, parts of Madhya Pradesh, and Punjab. In these areas, land was commonly owned by a group of villages, lo- owned by a group of villages and called mahals. The task of collecting revenue and paying it to the company was given to the headman of each mahal. Headman of each mahal. Also, the revenue demand was not fixed permanently, but could be revised periodically, or we can say from time to time. Now, next we will read about Roytwadi system. This system was introduced by Thomas Munro. It was introduced in parts of Madras and Bombay presidencies. Under this, the company made a revenue settlement directly with the Royat or peasant. It means the company was taking directly revenue from the peasant. The farmer was recognized as the owner of the land as long as he paid the land revenue. Also, the revenue was fixed according to the fertility of the soil. So, that's all for today. Please like the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks.